What happens when time is your worst enemy? Let's find out. I'm giving myself just 5 minutes, 5 hours, and 15 hours to create something epic in Blender. The theme? Steampunk Dystopia. The rules? Simple. Start each render from scratch, and when the timer hits 0, no matter what, I have to reveal the final result to the Shenanigans Council. But here's where it gets wild. If the council's impressed, I get a valuable asset for the next challenge. If they're not, I'll face a brutal handicap that might make finishing the next render nearly impossible. So the real question is, can I beat the clock and create something truly epic? We're gonna try and make a steampunk environment in 5 minutes. So my quick idea here is I want to make like a clock tower room at the top of the clock tower where you see the inside of the glass. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scale this cube up, but not on the z-axis, and this is going to be a room. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna delete all these faces. So we're gonna split this one first, and then we're gonna extrude it. So then it's a whole like full freaking mesh, and then we're gonna create a floor, duplicate that, roof. Okay, now we're gonna add a cylinder where this is going to be our window. Boolean modifier, boom, boom, generate Boolean, apply this, applied, delete, let's add that clock image, clock, boom. Come on, let's find one. Yeah, this one. Okay, save image as, shader, editor, boom, texture, drag that clock in there, bring that into the color, emission, bring that into the emission, come on. Oh, that's perfect. Look at that. Let's export in our wood textures. Okay, boom. That's exported in. No, that's what? Wrong one. Boom. There you go. Shift click, link materials. Do that with the roof too. Why did I not do the roof? That looks. Oh, our camera. Our camera cannot be there. Let's rotate our camera like this. Okay. Let's change the color of our world. Let's make it black. I'm gonna change the texture. We're gonna make it glassy. Okay, so flow transmission all the way. Boom. Alpha a little bit down. Sky texture. Come on. Can we do this in time? Scale this up. Boom. What the? I think right there we have something. Okay, now let's change. We don't have much time to change things. Yeah, let's just hide that. Let's add a table. Table. GZ1. Boom. We have a little table. Ooh, cute. Let's make this table, have some legs on it. We all like those. Control B, bevel. Let's grab these. Oh my gosh. Let's inset. Easy. Boom. Table looks great. I want this in my office. This is beautiful. Add that wood texture to it. Let's duplicate that and make it a different color. Hue, saturation, value. Pump up the value. Boom. Scale that up. Does that work? No. Scale it up more. No, not that much. No. Boom. And render. Guys, it's beautiful. Steampunk dystopian environment, eh? It's not good. Like, it looks just trash.
Ethan, what exactly were you trying to accomplish here?
I only have 5 minutes.
It's like a failed attempt at modern art.
Modern art was done by someone who's never seen a computer before.
This isn't just bad, it's borderline offensive to the Blender community. You've turned polygons into a war crime.
This is a digital disaster! We should ban you from rendering for a week as punishment. But no, we'll be merciful and just give you a brutal handicap for your next attempt.
Agreed! How about you can only use default gray materials? No colors, no textures, just misery. Perfect! It forces you to actually think about your lighting and composition, instead of relying on flashy colors to distract you from the chaos. Consider it a challenge to redeem yourself. You can make red look good. Maybe there's hope for you.
And remember, Ethan, we'll be watching you closely. Don't make us regret giving you a second chance. You guys heard the handicap. This one's gonna be tough. But I think I have an idea that doesn't need color at all. You guys might be thinking, well, wasn't that convenient? You just thought of the punishment yourself. Actually, no. The Shenanigans Council did. The other day I was scrolling on Pinterest and I found this shockingly epic photo of a 19th century building in a dystopian world. I had to make it. Trying not to copy it exactly, I sketched out a quick plan on how I wanted this render to look. Okay, so just in case you can't tell, this right here is a balcony, right? And then this guy, this Victorian looking man, he's looking over the railing, and this is like him in the morning just before he goes to work, and he's just kind of looking over the city, be like, this is my life now. I have my timer right here. We're ready. I got the idea. Let's just go for it. And 3, 2, 1, starting. Okay. Let's lock in. This render is a little different. I actually have time to block out my shot and do a little extra planning. You'll see later that I still should have spent probably more time doing the planning. It's not my proudest moment. I was so excited to start adding detail, I disregarded doing any more planning and just started modeling. I had a circle for the balcony and just extruded the mesh in different ways to add detail. Duplicating the edge of the circle, I created a railing for our future character to lean on. Too lazy to add any more detail, I went straight to the building and decided if I could just make one floor look good, then I can duplicate it to the rest of the building with an array modifier. So I took my time on this part. Pillar, railing, window. Pillar, railing, window. Pillar, railing, you get the idea. It worked, I have a building. Now I can use this bottom floor as an asset for the rest of the scene. Staying true to the handicap the Shenanigans Council gave me, I went to the compositor and outputted the image as 100% black and white, and gave it that horrible bloom effect that old cameras have. For some reason, I thought it would be a good idea to add a character now, before I finished everything else.
Little did I know, this was going to be the most time-consuming process of this entire project.
Spent a good hour and a half just trying to pose this guy. Why does he look like that? Now we gotta put a jacket on him. Why is it so small? That's what you should. Why won't the arms line up? Where is the texture? I hated this jacket. He's not even wearing it. It's fine. You can only see his back. I had to move on.
It was time to texture everything, but I could only use the roughness and the bump, no colors. So I made 3 textures.
Concrete light, concrete, and concrete dark. Oh, quick lunch break. Anyway, sorry you had to see that. Let's start texturing. I made most of the railings darker concrete, and the buildings themselves a bland gray, and the pillars a mix of dark and light concrete. Okay, to be honest, with the fog and the textures, it's starting to look pretty epic. Besides that,
It looks horrendous.
I wanted to add something at the bottom of the building instead of just a road, so I decided to create a moat that went through the city, using a wave texture hooked up to the bump to create ripples in the water. Finished texturing the buildings and duplicated them to cover the background I neglected to finish. I only have half an hour left. Let's make a bridge.
5 reps and 3, 2. Shift the outer circle. Bring the sides to 8. Extrude out edges. Make the bridge curvy. Now bevel, 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 and bevel, and bevel. Duplicate bridge for roof. Bevel, add a cube for a pillar. Bevel, extrude, bevel, extrude, duplicate. Duplicate for railing. Change shape. Array modifier. Duplicate a long edge because I'm lazy. Looks like it has to more. Nonetheless, let's push on. Duplicated the railing for the other side and broken floor. Time to create a little tower. Inset, extrude, 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 scale, bevel, extrude, scale, inset, extrude, bevel, scale, bevel, inset, extrude, extrude, scale, extrude, inset, extrude, scale, bevel, inset, extrude, bevel, scale, inset, extrude, and there's a bridge.
10 more minutes. I texture the bridge as fast as I can, racing the clock. White texture, black texture, scale, assign texture, done. 5 minutes. Waiting for the image to render, I search up a film grain overlay on Google Images and quickly add it on top of my render in an image editor called Krita.
Ethan, your 5-hour render was a decent attempt, but it's clear you're racing the clock. The concept is strong, but the execution, well, it's lacking.
Yeah, strong concept, but let's talk details. Those textures, they're flat. Did you even check the normals? It's like you throw a blanket over it and call it a day. Tech, you always get hung up on the details. What about the atmosphere? Sure, it's got that Neor vibe, but it's just there. No emotion, no story. It needs a spark. Something that grabs you by the soul and says, look at me. Yeah. Or it needs something to explode, like a dragon. Definitely a dragon. This render is too tame. Ethan, were you half asleep when you made this?
Not everything needs to be a dragon wild, but I do agree with creative Ethan. There's a lack of impact here.
Ethan, your next handicap is to make a whole scene upside down. Let's see you handle gravity playing tricks on you. Upside down, huh? You better make sure those physics don't break. No wonky floating objects. Unless they're intentional, of course. Upside down, huh? Genius! Imagine the possibilities. A world turned on its head, furniture on the ceiling. You can make something truly surreal. And don't forget the wild factor. I want to be so disoriented that I don't know which way is up anymore.
The council has spoken. Ethan, your 15-hour render must push boundaries both technically and creatively. We expect nothing less. been a masterpiece.
I'm excited for this one. I'm thinking making a steampunk train station. Of course, sticking to the handicap, I'll have upside down trains coming through as well. Okay, what are we waiting for? Let's get started. I start this render by deleting the default cube, then adding in a default cube. Stretching this out to make a huge hallway that I can put the train station inside. I wanted to create a huge arc for the roof, as you can see here. Keeping the steampunk vibe, I wanted to create a huge clock on the back wall as one of the focal points for this image. Oh my goodness, what if the train went through the clock? What do we need now? A train, duh. Found a super detailed train on Blender Kit for free. I used a Boolean modifier on some cubes to create the tunnels for the trains. Now it's time for some tracks. Again, a lucky find on CG Trader for this railway right here. Duplicated the tracks to the bottom and added another train. I feel like these trains are missing something though. Trains are usually longer, I think. How about some carriages? Okay, that's better. Okay, as awesome as these train models were, the textures were just too detailed. I spent a hot minute replacing all of them with a bit of simpler ones, because Blender was getting, really slow. Also, I textured the carriage, and that looks pretty good for the first hour. This is a 15-hour render though, so let's add some detail. I start modeling steel beams along the walls, which was surprisingly super difficult to wrap my head around. Let's just say it was annoying. It paid off though. Those beams look epic and really add a lot of extra realism to this render. See that huge circle on the wall? Let's make that a clock. With some simple insets and extrusions along with some Roman numerals, you can get yourself a beautiful clock. Add a bench, more steel beams, because I thought they looked awesome. I gotta improve the ceiling window now. I've been putting it off for a bit. Couple more insets and adding some more steel lines and you got yourself a way more realistic window. This huge clock is epic and all, but let's be logical here. It's gotta be clean somehow. I made a really simple platform with 2 cubes and a wireframe modifier on a plane, and that looks great. Use the same trick to create some stairs between these platforms, and all I need now is a railing. Spent some time lining it up just right, but it turned out great. This is where we get serious. The part I've been dreading. Adding people. I definitely ain't gonna model someone in the time that I have left, but I can look for one that somebody else already modeled. Mr. Man walking. Oh, this is just perfect. Plop that in. Mr. Man did not make it to the final render. These businessmen did though. I used a particle simulation to scatter these suited men around, but the main focus, literally, is on this adorable man right here. No render is complete without a story. What if this render was a super fast time lapse that went through the day and crowds moved around this man on the bench with blurry streaks and everything was blurry except for this fine fellow right here.
When I thought of this idea, I got so excited.
Only an hour left though. How am I gonna pull this off? Well, for the people moving, I can keyframe the particle system seed. Basically, this number randomly generates the people around that are standing. So over the 3-second time limit, I decrease the amount of people in the crowd, while at the same time changing the seed to give the illusion that the people were walking around out of the train station. Here's the results. Okay, I know, it looks pretty dumb. I know. How about I just blur everything out, bring it into DaVinci Resolve, add a motion blur effect, then complete it together with the final render. 15 seconds left. There's so many changes I want to make, but it's too late now. You know what time it is.
What brings you here? It's done. Present your creation. Alright, team. Thoughts on Ethan's latest render?
Those upside down trains? Brilliant! It's like they're saying gravity. Never heard of it. Or maybe it's just a train-looking roller coaster. He looks like he's contemplating his life choices. Or when he's finally gonna go home. One of those. I bet he's thinking, I wish Blender Shenanigans would post more. Hey, I'm working on it.
Exactly. The stillness contrasts beautifully with the crowd's chaos. And the shadows, perfectly moody.
It's like a film scene. One man, 1,000 choices.
Before we wrap up, I have to make an announcement. A thank you, a special thank you to you. Everyone who subscribed to this channel, everyone who watches these videos. Because we hit 1,000 subs last video.
Nearly 2,000. I still can't believe we got here so quickly. Thank you just to everyone. So, What's the reward for this epic render? Right?
Ethan, your reward for this render is to remind everyone of your last video.
Oh yeah, if you love watching challenge videos like this one, then you're gonna love this video right here, or learn how to make geometry nodes in one day.